Paul Laurence Dunbar was born on June 27, 1872, in Dayton, Ohio, a place very near to my hometown, and died on February 9, 1906, from tuberculosis at the young age of 33. Dunbar was an American poet who is known for his Negro dialect and writing about slavery and equality, which are two recurring themes that are seen throughout his pieces, especially in The Haunted Oak. The footage you are seeing right now is from Madison, Ohio, my hometown, which was notorious for being an advocate for equality and abolishing slavery. This is the Unionville Tavern, which was home to part of the Underground Railroad, which aided many slaves to freedom. It is a preserved historical site that is being remodeled so it can be reopened to the public as a reminder of how far America has come.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low.
Not only was part of the Underground Railroad within this building, across the street is a cemetery that had two gravestones that opened up, so runaway slaves could sneak in and out of them at night. It was a good way to get them into the building, into the Underground Railroad, without being detected. This footage corresponds to Dunbar's themes of slavery and equality, considering the Underground Railroad was a tool in aiding enslaved people to freedom.
But still my soul feels heavenly bound.
The different videos and images of the lawn jockeys reveal how they were used as tools in aiding runaway slaves on the right direction to the safe houses.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet.
These next images are photos of the inside of the tavern, which is no longer accessible to the public due to the remodeling that is taking place. So these images were taken from the historical website of the tavern. Comprehending the themes and messages within Dunbar's poem was relatively straightforward with the use of his poetic devices. He uses imagery, personification, metaphors, alliteration, as well as an aphora, which will all be discussed thoroughly. The Haunted Oak, written and published in 1900, highlights a lynching problem that was occurring in Alabama. The poetic devices used throughout the poem gives the oak a voice and allows it to speak. For instance, in stanza 6, line 22, he says, "Who is it rides night by night over the moonlit road?" This provides the audience with very detailed imagery. Dunbar's use of imagery here allows for the reader to grasp what is being said and lets them paint a mental picture for themselves. Another poetic device that corresponds to this footage is Dunbar's use of assonance in stanza 16, line 57, where he says, "And ever the judge rides by, rides by." Dunbar's use of assonance directs attention to these particular words, making them stand out and making them more memorable for the readers. Also, when Dunbar says, "I am burned with dread, I am dried and dead," this depicts a clever use of personification. He gives the oak tree human-like qualities, reminding the readers that the oak is feeling this pain of the man being hung on its branches. Anaphora is also used in stanzas 16 and 17 when Dunbar repeats the word "and," which draws the audience in and drills the repetition of word into the reader's mind. When Dunbar says, "And the sap ran free in my veins," in stanza 2, line 6, this is another example of personification, which I think Dunbar uses to help make the sap streaming down the tree pop out more to the readers and makes the image of the sap more vivid. Not only is this next line personification, but it is also a metaphor. In stanza 2, line 6, when Dunbar says, "I am burned with dread," I think this use of the metaphor within Dunbar's poem helps the readers create a great mental picture and also infuses emotions into the readers' minds. All of the footage previously shown corresponds to Dunbar's themes of slavery and equality, considering the Underground Railroad was a tool in aiding enslaved people to freedom, which is what is focused on mainly throughout this video. The poetic devices discussed previously aids in Dunbar's underlying meaning throughout the poem. I think the different devices used helps the audience become more engaged in his work, and it helps them to really get a sense of how these different lynchings and the inequalities that African Americans were experiencing made Dunbar feel, and he does this through the words of the oak.
I'm sometimes up and I'm sometimes down, coming for to carry me home.